All right, hello everybody. Wanted to make some quick update videos. We've been making some posts over on Twitter and things have been going really good. One of the main posts was about the divergence that was on ADA on the daily. We had a regular bullish divergence coming in here. We can see the price action continued to make lower closures, but the RSI did not, right? So you can see here how the RSI actually made a higher low. When that occurred, we knew we had regular bull divergence at an area of interest after a potential 5-wave move to the upside, right? So we had been posting about this and watching out for the macro counts and so on. I think to do this, you need to make sure your chart's on linear so that your targets are more realistic with your extensions. But let's go ahead and look here. So if this 5-wave move is to be part of an inner leg, right, let's say, and that would be the 5 waves that potentially makes up this inner leg 3. So let's get this on here. 1 and 2. We get a 3 to a minimum target of 1.618. A shallow wave 4 pullback, right? That doesn't overlap into the top of wave 1s. And then a final push in the 5th wave of a potential wave 3, right? We can also notice here when we're zoomed out that we have a potential another wave 1 into wave 2. Let me turn off my magnet here. And this could all end up being just the wave 3, 4, and 5. And this is how ADA could march its way possibly up past the last local highs here, right? And break out. So this would be something to really stay tuned into and be watching out for. Let's go back and zoom back into the lower time frames and kind of talk about how things are bullishly reversing also. But do be aware, right? It's looking really bullish. It was before the pump. It was before Donald Trump said the crypto reserve stuff. So let's stay focused on that, okay? Let's zoom in here to the hourly and take a peek at this low, okay? So you can see here we have a potential 5 waves up and a 3-wave pullback, right? So I'm going to say this is some 1-2 stacking, right? And in Elliot Wave, you can have 1-2 stacking, and what that does is it extends these 3rd waves out pretty good, okay? So let's just throw those up there for now. Make the screen a little bit bigger. When you're doing Elliot Wave, you don't really need all the indicators. You don't need all that shit on your screen. You need space so that you can work, okay? Here again, we could have seen another potential 5-wave move to the upside and a 3-wave pullback, right? So we'll put another 1 and 2 on here. Why I like this standard 1-2 setup here is because that it potentially gets smaller as it goes, right? So each successive stacking of 1-2 gets a little bit smaller. So actually the probability of it playing out is much higher than some of the other ones, okay? So if this is 1-2, 1-2 stacking, we're looking for this to move up. We haven't even seen that 3 yet. We're looking for this to move up, make a 3, give a local wave 4, then make a 5. That will give us our wave 3. Then make another wave 4. And then make another wave 5 to the highs, right? So this is how ADA will make an impulsive leg here. So what you're going to want to look for, and what I think is interesting and you'll see, is that when we're making the 1-2 stacking, you kind of get this little grind to the upside, right? Well, when we make the 3-4s, we'll get that same thing. We'll make a 4, and then a 3, and then a 4, and then a 5. Right? And we'll look for that macro bear divergence between our 5 and our 3. And at that point, if we have bearish divergence on the RSI and some volume waning off, right, then we'll look for this bigger pullback, okay? And we'll look for it to kind of try to hold up maybe these lower degree wave 4s also. So it's just a little bit of a roadmap to be watching out for as ADA continues onward, right? But let's talk bullishly here, what we don't want to see lost, right? So if this is a wave 2 low and we measure to that high, we don't want to see our wave 4 retrace template lost, right? So let's turn that on. That gives us a 0.5 and a really nice back test of the channel, right? So bulls for ADA really don't want to see this not 0.91 area lost. And we want to see it continue onward, but it's really nice because it moves up in validation to the last recent 1-2 stacking. And then pretty soon you'll get to move up in validation again, right? So even more beautiful. So let's stay focused on the bullish road ahead on this one. And let's switch over to XRP and do some talks about its macro and its micro, okay? So just 1 second here. I like to start zoomed out and then we'll work our way back in, okay? So on XRP, this has been bullish for quite some time. I'm going to go ahead and continue to stay on linear because we're looking at such big targets. We don't want to be thrown off and start making lavish calls that never came true. So what we're looking at here is a 1 into a possible 2, 5 waves in your possible 3, and a really complicated possible WXY within the wave 4, right? Now we're looking for this to be wave 1 into 2, okay? So at least if that is gonna be, that gives us somewhere to start our roadmap, right? Somewhere to start guessing from. So if this is 1 into 2, and then this all gets going, we'll just place these here for now. Let's talk about some extensions and minimum targets that we would expect, right? And I think this is how you could get a pretty powerful wave 5 still, okay? So its minimum wave 3 target will be our 1.618. We turn on our impulsive extensions. That comes in around 367. Nice area around 360 with our 0.618 also. And then from there, we would look for our wave 5 around 430, right? So I do think there's potential for this to be an extended 5th wave and we get up to that 470, 74 price tag. But do bear in mind, you know, you're getting into that wave 5 of 5 targets. So if this breaks out of the channel and starts finding support on top of it, then we'll talk about that then. And that's how we get a really extended, really bullish 5th wave. But I think things are really shaping up here. Let's zoom into the lower time frames now that we've kind of seen the roadmap, seen where we're at on the macro, okay? And let's talk about somewhat, we have the same thing going on here potentially. For XRP is a 1-2 stacking. So let's move up our invalidation again and let's label this up. Oops, let's do these here since they're smaller and then we will go back and fix that. All right, let's put our 0 point here. I don't even know who that guy belongs to. Oh, that's for our other count. That's right. Sorry. Place that there. All right. So then we'll make another set of numbers here so that you can see the clear 1-2 stacking like we did on ADA also. Sorry for the little delays here. Just trying to do this live instead of like maybe some other folks do where it's all rigged up. So let's go here and change the color and the time. So this makes a little more sense. Okay, so you can see once again how we have that 1-2, 1-2 stacking. So let's make sure we know where our invalidation would be. That would be losing our wave 4 retrace template, right? So the bulls on XRP, they really don't want to see 261 loss, right? That would start to kind of change probability and start to change local counts. But be watching, you know, be watching for this RSI to reset. Kind of like you had here. You had a really small 3-wave pullback and a really deep pullback on your RSI that actually back tests the bull control zone, right? So there's a lot of bullish signals here outside of the tweet, outside of Donald Trump saying yada yada, right? The macro charts had this in them before. So keep grinding, guys. Stay positive. The top is not in on things. Everything's okay. And thank you for your time watching the video. And catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.